Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back. Brandon again. In today's video, I want to talk briefly about online coaching and my general feels on the subject, as this is something that's been popping up in my subscription feed the last couple of weeks. Not to mention, I always see these kind of discussions on other social media aspects in terms of who's a good coach, who's a bad coach, who's going to put you on poverty macros, and who might not get you show ready, but will definitely get you hoe ready.
What's good, YouTube?
Beast Mode Jones, that's who. And you're welcome for that free plug, Chris. That wasn't even a chump change moment, although I'm sure there'll probably be one later in this video, as there always is. But all jokes aside, I think it's a relevant conversation to have only because many of you guys out there are looking at either hiring a coach or becoming a coach yourself. So again, just gonna share you my feels on the subject, as I get asked through email all the time, am I going to offer coaching services? The answer of which is no. And although I'm very flattered, I also think it's very funny. I have literally like 700 videos on YouTube, and I'd like to think most of them have some kind of educational content in it, whether it be nutrition, supplementation, training, life in general. I try to give back and try to teach you some things. Oftentimes, many of the things that you would pay an online coach to do for you, or I answer your comments or emails and don't charge you anything for it. The only really caveat is you have to sit through a lot of dick and fart jokes to get to those nuggets of information. But hopefully it's worth it. So I don't really see a point in paying for a lot of these services, so there are some things to watch out for. Now obviously with online coaching, I think one of the biggest issues is the fact that there's no real barrier to entry to become an online coach. So you don't have to go to school for it. You don't even have to have your own personal training certification, although either or both of those things can help. And if you're looking for a personal training certification, what better one to choose than the NASM? And that's the National Academy of Sports Medicine, who's offering a 2-week free trial of their services by going to myusatrainer.com/CampbellFitness, which you can find in the description box below. I told you we'd get to that chump change moment, but that segue, pretty nice, right? But those things are by no means necessary still. So literally, if you're in good shape, you have a camera, you can make a video saying you offer online services, you're now an online coach. It's that simple. And because of that, there's a lot of crap out there. So if you're interested in doing this or becoming one, just please really make sure you do your education. That wasn't even a good sentence. Make sure you do your education. Strong, real strong. But just make sure you put time and effort into this regardless of which route you want to go. One of the things I would really suggest is if you're looking to hire a coach, make sure their viewpoints line up somewhat with yours, both in terms of diet and training. So their general methodology. Because if you are a really big fan of flexible dieting and have had success doing that, yet you hire a coach who's against that, it's going to put you on some poverty macros or a low carb diet or whatever, you're probably not going to have a good time. Or the same thing can be said with training principles. Do your research, do like an interview. Don't feel bad about asking these people. It works both ways. Not only are you hiring them, but in a way, they're going to be hiring you as you're going to speak for their services. So that's not out of the question at all. I'd also really stress that you get some kind of contract in place to make sure you cover exactly what kind of coaching you're going to be getting, both in terms of length, at cost, and what that person is going to provide you. Because what I see a lot of times is a lot of hands-off coaching. Meaning, yeah, they might give you a routine that's not so cookie cutter, and we've talked about cookie cutter routines in the past, or maybe a diet plan that's not just based off your weight, but after that, they just look for weekly updates and they don't give you much feedback. Really try to look for someone who's going to be as hands-on as possible and is going to spend a lot of time with you. In most cases, you're going to be spending a lot of money on this person, so make sure you're getting your money's worth in that regards. Now, that being said, one other thing to take into consideration is how popular this person is, because I know a lot of us look for people who are very well known. The problem can be sometimes is these well-known people have tons and tons of clients, so many so in fact that they can't spend as much time with each individual client as they used to be able to when they maybe only had a dozen or so people to coach. So just because someone has a large stable of people underneath them does not necessarily mean that they're a good coach. Some of the best coaching services out there, what they'll do is once they get to a certain point or handle a certain number of clients, they'll bring other well-respected coaches on. For example, the Strength Athlete comes to mind right off the top of my head. Another plug, which isn't chump change. Bryce, you owe me, my man. So just take that into consideration when you're looking at this. Also, do your due diligence in terms of their clientele. So talk to the people that have been coached by them. See what they liked, see what they didn't like, really get a good feel for it. And I say this because I get a lot of emails and IMs and private messages from people who tell me about their coaching services from some pretty well-known coaches or some well-known YouTubers and tell me how awful it was. Maybe they didn't get the kind of coaching they wanted, the program was bad, in some aspects, the coach just stopped responding or went weeks at a time without responding to them. So that can be really frustrating. So really do your due diligence on this, just because the market overall is pretty diluted. I'm here for you. You have my videos. I also always try to answer the comments in the comment sections of these videos, unless you're marked for spam or for some reason I don't see it, which I pretty much should. I'm pretty anal when it comes to that. I put my email in my description box of all my videos, so if you have questions to bounce off me, I will definitely help. But I'm here to help you if I can. I'm not gonna offer full coaching services, but I'll do what I can in the meantime. So hopefully that helps some. That's just my general feelings on it. Let me know in the comment section below what you feel about this subject. Have you been burned by a coach in the past? Let us know. We're here for you. In the meantime though, as always, thanks so much for watching and stay big.